Good morning. I'm out here looking for some mushrooms. I don't think there will be many because it's quite late in the year and it's quite cold, so they don't grow very fast. But we'll try and find some anyway. I'll try and tell you all about them, though my knowledge isn't all that deep. And maybe you'll have some fun, like me. Here is the first mushroom of the day. Obviously, I won't be picking it up. What we're probably gonna see, if any, are gonna be sun mushrooms. These, I don't know what these are, so we're gonna leave them there. They're not so that interesting anyway. But yeah, anyway, the sun mushrooms, they're pretty abundant about this time. I have a friend who would very much like to try some. He likes them, but hasn't been able to get any in a while. Luckily, since last year, I've been learning how to pick wild mushrooms, and recently I've learned those too, so now I can bring some to him. Sorry, I'm not all that good at aiming my camera, so I've been hovering above the ground, thinking I was picking up the mushrooms for you. There's usually nothing on this hillside. I did find during the summer a few porcini, but at least I can't find any at this time of year, though there are people that bring whole bags of them still. But those people are, professionals. They pick and sell the mushrooms on the marketplace, porcini specifically, because they are abundant in my country and pretty sought after. People trust them, so they just fly off the shelves, though not really shelves. I suppose they're more sold on like a marketplace. Maybe I should be looking more, not just talking. But yeah, nothing so far. always try and find the path of least resistance. Now I find it's usually actually more difficult to go down a slope than go up it. Here's a pretty little mushroom. Gonna leave it. Not much on the educational side. Hey, here's a mushroom. I don't know what it is. Very educational. There should be some sun mushrooms up ahead. It's best to know the exact location where a mushroom grows. Then you don't have to go around the whole forest. You can just visit the points where you know they are. And I found like at least a few every time when I went over here. So that's definitely a micro location for him. I guess because there's a bit less trees here, so more sun can get through. There's even some grass, but I'm not seeing any. So it really must be too cold, since this is such a good spot for them. But I'm out here anyway, so gotta keep on looking. Shame. Well, what can you do? Oh, there is one. Seems I've given up too soon. It's not a very big one, but it's something. See, sun mushrooms have these thick parts at the bottom. It's like amanitas, which are often poisonous. Some of these can be poisonous, but not this one, because as you can see at the cross section where it has been exposed to the air, it did not go red. It remained white, and as long as it's white, it's alright. You know, don't take this out of context. And you only eat the cap of the mushroom, so we're gonna leave. the stalk here because we have no use for it. It's too, how do I say, too fibrous to eat. Yes. I guess I'll look here a bit more. Maybe I missed some. Maybe I'm just not concentrating on actually finding the mushrooms. But anyway, I hope we can find some more species. But yeah, as I was saying, there are actually sun mushrooms that are that go red when you cut across the cap, that are edible, but you know, let's just avoid the red so we don't get it mixed up. I'm not all that experienced in finding for them, in identifying them, I mean. But you know, this has worked for me. I found more than enough the last few times. I've got like a week old, or actually like 9 days old sun mushroom caps in the fridge. I don't think anyone should eat that, although it does not look like anything's wrong with it yet. But still, it's better to eat fresh. Here's a mushroom. I can't tell you anything about it. I guess I could tell you a few things, but not in English. My vocabulary is not all that great when it comes to, you know, very specific things like mushroom foraging. I do hope you will hear me. It would suck if nobody heard anything I was saying and I was just talking to myself the whole time. It's good to look back a bit sometimes because you get a different angle and you might see something that you passed right through, right by. And if you turn around, you might just spot it. There are a few more spots that I know some tasty mushrooms reside, so we're gonna go there. I don't wanna fall and drop my precious cargo. I'm hoping to find some black trumpet mushrooms. They grow when it's moist. They're like black like this, but it's not this one. They're small, look like a trumpet, and there's a bunch of them. They grow when it's moist. It was very moist this summer, so I found a bunch, which is unusual for them to appear in the summer. And now that it's fall, I haven't found nearly as many. So that's kind of strange. did find some last week. Excuse me. It's cold out here. Not much going on. Look, I don't know if you can see that there's a hazelnut. It's not worth being spiked. Now here's something that looks like a sun mushroom, but it might not be. I'm pretty sure it is a sun mushroom. It is one. It's kind of small. So, you know, then there were two. It was looking a bit suspicious. But the ring wasn't like an amanita. Didn't go red. And you know, you can compare it to the one we have. There's another one. I hope I get to meet my friend this week, because it would be a shame if he didn't pick the mushrooms up for 2 weeks in a row that I found for him, at least partly. The black trumpets were like on this trail when I found them in the summer, so I'm hoping they will be again here, but they weren't here like last week. So I'm not all that confident I'll find them, at least not exactly here, but you know, we'll try. You know, I actually don't differentiate the taste of the mushroom all that much. People say these taste like hazelnuts. This is, you know, very small, so we're gonna leave it. Usually you should not pick mushrooms that are very small, so very young or very old, because it's difficult to determine what they are at those early and late stages. I found a few last week over there, but there's none right now. Maybe you guys will be pointing out how I missed all the mushrooms from the footage. There's a cute mushroom. Again, I don't know what it is, but it's cute. Thank the forest for giving me something to talk about. There's the same stump that I found 2 times already, and it has turkey tail mushroom on it. This is a medicinal mushroom. There's mushrooms that are similar to it. The difference, there's one that looks very similar to this. Difference is between this white line on the edge, the thicker white line, and the white stuff on the bottom. Sorry, I need to get some of this vocabulary down. Means that it's the true turkey tail mushroom and not the fake one. The fake one has much thinner line on the edge and is more orange yellow on the bottom. I think maybe I'm gonna pick a bit. I might just leave it. It's a bit tricky to pick this particular one, and I already picked it a bit, so I'm gonna let it spread, you know. But yeah, it's a very good mushroom. Make a tea from it. Oh look, there's an old, possibly some mushroom. Well, it's way too old. Got my hopes up for nothing. Probably not sun mushroom after all. But yeah, it's basically the best mushroom for immunity. So my mom's been making tea from it for last week. She did get a cold, but it passed pretty quickly, so I suppose it helped. Can't be certain. There should be at least a few sun mushrooms over here. This is also a pretty decent spot, but I always found some. Again, it looks like it's too cold, but you know, it's only gonna get colder, so I decided to go out anyway. Sorry that it's not working all that great out for you guys. Guess I'll look back here. I'll go a bit in that direction. There was some black trumpet mushrooms there last time, so it's worth checking out. My family, especially my mom, trusts this mushroom more than anything else, so that's great. You know, sometimes I have to. There is a sun mushroom over here, but as I was saying, sometimes I do let the mushrooms go to waste because I just kinda show them to mom so she can get a bit familiar with them till she gathers a bit of courage. But you know, then the next time she sees it, it's already something that she's a bit familiar with. Is that a shroom over there? It is a leaf. Had like holes in it that kind of looked like these markings. Again, vocabulary. It's obviously bigger in my native language. I could tell you a bit more about this stuff, but you know, there's already that language and Latin to learn, you know, scientific names. There's a big shroom here. I know what that is, and it is edible, but it is too old, and it's also not all that tasty. It's a bit bitter. But the first time I came back with a full basket was from that mushroom, so I'm grateful for that. We made some barbecue with it. You can pickle it. That's what people usually do, but you know, they pick the young, good specimens, not ones like these. I don't know what the other one is. Maybe it's, you know, just really old. I don't. Does not look tasty. There should be some black trumpets around here. I'll try not to miss it. Again, I've been talking a lot, so my attention is not 100% on actually finding these things. I do wonder if anyone's gonna watch this at all. There's a puff shroom, but I can feel it's pretty squishy, so it's probably too old, but maybe it isn't. I don't know. These are great, but they have to be white from the outside and the inside. The inside is, you know, like spores, and if they change color at all, then it's not really edible anymore. And this does look, you know, a bit darker. So it is not the snow white I was looking for. Unfortunately, it's just a bit too old. Sorry, little guy. But you know, it's still gonna release its spores and everything. So you don't really damage the mushroom by picking it, unless it's, you know, a really, you know, pick every mushroom in the forest, because that's just the fruiting body. The fruiting body spreads some spores, and it does that, you know, not just when the mushroom is fully mature. So the spores do get released no matter what you do. Maybe a bit less. So try and leave, you know, a few of the mushrooms if there's a bunch of them, so that they can remain. But you know, as long as you don't damage the mycelium underneath by, you know, cutting trees, everything's gonna be alright. We did not bring a chainsaw, just a little knife. So I think it's gonna be fine. It's not red, it's reddened. So, no black trumpets yet. I guess it was a bit hopeful that we're gonna find them here. I'm gonna maybe look back a bit more, just because just because I'd really like to find some. Everybody likes them, everybody trusts them, and we had at summer a really good pizza with them. I guess I didn't mention the thing that they're actually most used for, which is for drying. You dry them, you ground them up, and you get the powder, and you put it and stuff. Some mushrooms are, you know, really good for drying. It's not just because it prolongs their shelf life. Sometimes chemical changes do occur that make the mushrooms more tasty. It's not just that you've evaporated all the water. Well, I don't think I'm gonna explore that way. I didn't really go that way more than this. Oh, these guys are poisonous, I believe. If it is the mushroom that I'm thinking of, maybe not. Like you would call it like the sulfur mushroom in my language. They're abundant in this time of year, but you know, just don't pick them. I can see another sun mushroom over there, I think. Oh, these guys look like kind of sun mushrooms, but not the ones I'm familiar with. I think these ones might be the poisonous type. It's not turning red, but again, I'm not really familiar with these ones. I don't think these are sun mushrooms at all, actually. They don't have the ring as far as I can tell. There's a snail that was on the mushroom that's on my finger now. You should look out for those, because snails do like their mushrooms, and they're around when they're around at the same time as the mushrooms they're trying to pick, meaning when it's moist. Ooh, this one is a bit different from the others, but I do know what it is. So we're gonna be, cracking it to make sure. Sorry if my camera work isn't all that great, and we're gonna be taking it with us. Maybe it's just a prettier, I can't really distinguish all that great between the species of the sun mushroom, but I can at least a little bit. Again, vocabulary, I don't really know how they're called in English. We're going down because I can see like a place where it's pretty clear of trees, where the sun might reach, so it might be worth checking out. And I think this might be more of the turkey tail mushroom. Maybe not. It does look pretty old, and yeah, it's not real turkey tail. This is like the fake turkey tail. No, it is a bit hard to tell because it is pretty old. Maybe I'm wrong, but if you're not sure, you just don't take it. So we will be leaving it. Doesn't look like there's a catch here. I do like the view. There's some people running down there. I don't think you can really see them, but I can. They're on the road down there. You can see them, but no, let's leave those people alone. Here's a mushroom that's not particularly interesting, but these mushrooms like these, as far as I know, were used for like starting fires. There's quite a bit of work you have to do before you can get them to do that, but it's like a flint mushroom. And there is a guy at the club that seems to be interested almost exclusively in just the various species of that type of mushroom, that genus of mushrooms, I suppose. Again, I don't know much about them, because besides some of their medicinal properties that I don't, again, really know much about, other than the fact that the books that I read about the identification of mushrooms do point out that it does have some medicinal properties. I don't know what they are and or how to extract them, since that mushroom is not edible. It's very woody, it's hard, you can't chew it. So there has to be some other way of extracting, I guess. Usually it's alcohol or hot water. This is some sort of puff mushroom. Again, this is, you can see, or at least I can see, when you squeeze it, it spits out a cloud of spores. So it's definitely too old to pick. The inside has to be snow white. This one is a bit younger. I think that I guess I'm gonna risk it, because it is quite a specimen. It does appear to be snow white, so that's a great catch. I'm just gonna cut the bottom off so that it does not dirty up the rest of the mushrooms in the bag. That's why you have the knife, and you throw the mycelium around. It might catch, though it's not a big chance, and it might, become a new mushroom. Now you're spreading the mycelium around a bit, because the mushrooms they can in fact multiply like that. It doesn't have to be spores. Now, here is a part of the forest where I found quite a lot of sun mushrooms in the past, which is kind of weird, since it's pretty thick in here. There's a lot less sun. I suppose that there's maybe a greater variety of species of trees or different species with which they can form bonds. Perhaps that's it, I don't know. I should really, at some point when you're learning how to pick mushrooms, you should learn a little bit about identifying trees, because of the bond, symbiotic bond between the two, which can help you identify both the locations where you could possibly find something as a whole, and it could help you identify a specific mushroom, since which trees are needed for a mushroom to grow somewhere. So you could eliminate a few species because there is not a particular species of tree there, so therefore the mushroom you're looking for can't be there either. There is a bunch of mushrooms, and I think these might even be edible, but I don't know what they are. Perhaps not. There's a bunch. This one, you know, won't hurt. There's literally millions of them here. But there aren't any sun mushrooms. Now I've seen these here before too, but it seems that the number of them has inverted with sun mushrooms. It used to be a few of those and a lot of sun mushrooms, but now it's the other way around. Not a single one that we're looking for. What kind of, I'm touching it from below to see. It does appear to be some sort of porcini, but I think I might even know what it is, but I'm not all that confident in that one. I hope I picked it up with the camera. It'd suck if I just hovered around above nothing and then told you about it and there's nothing on the screen. Yeah, it really seems there is nothing here. Gonna go up. We're gonna circle back to where we came from, then leave the forest. No, there's not much sense exploring since there just doesn't seem to be what we're looking for here. I might go to another part of the forest, but that one seems to be less populated by the sun mushroom, which is the primary objective. But I have found, you know, pretty variety of mushrooms over there. So it might be more interesting, but I don't think we're going to do that today. Maybe I should just let forest grow them for a bit, come back on Saturday, because although it did rain recently, which is good obviously, it's just very cold, which, you know, it's just so even if something did start growing, maybe it just didn't finish. I was looking if these are turkey tail, but even if they are, it's all really dry. They're not in good condition, so there's no point in taking them. Perhaps those ones, again, can't really tell. I think they're not these things. The white line on the edge seems perhaps a bit too little, but yes, again, it's old and not good, which is, you know, really a shame. If I had discovered this place in its prime, and if some of these, at least some of these, were turkey tail mushroom, I'd have pretty good catch, you know, a lot of tea. At some point you guys are gonna see me fall. Maybe that will be the face reveal, that one frame where I'm tumbling down the mountain. Not into a rock like that, hopefully. But yeah, be careful when you're going downhill, because if you're picking mushrooms, it's probably moist, so you might slip. You know what also helps finding the mushrooms you're looking for? Getting up early before anyone else, which I did not do because I like sleeping. It's one of the things that I'm good at, and everybody likes doing the thing that they're good at. Come on, let's find, you know, a couple more. There is something up there. I don't think it's what we're looking for. But you know, when there's nothing else, you might as well check it out. I have no idea where the thing is. Oh, maybe it's this one. Yeah, this is what I saw. Sometimes, you know, mushrooms can grow a bit weird. They're very independent creatures. You can't tell them what to do. I know this because I also grow some at home, and they never do what you want them to. You know, you make like a nice place for them to pop out, to grow from, and then they decide they don't want to go there and come out of some stupid place that you can't see, and you don't even see them until they're already too old. So I've learned, you know, to check the back of my mushroom bags that I grow, because they might just be hiding back there for whatever reason. Nobody can understand their true purpose in this world. Ugh. Ugh. Again, nothing. Well, nothing that we want, or nothing that we know we want. There might be, maybe all of those mushrooms back there were something that we should have picked up and eaten and then gone to sleep because they're so tasty, but that would be stupid to risk. I guess if I decide to go to the other side of the forest, it's not gonna be in this video. No, it's long enough already. I'm you know, not confident at all that anybody's going to watch some guy walking through the forest, not even finding all that much, talking into camera. No, and we're already at like the 57-minute mark, and I have no desire to edit any of this, you know, because I guess I haven't seen anyone do something like this without editing it. You know, people find a mushroom and then they take out their nice camera and film it and tell you all about it. But someone walking around aimlessly, or almost aimlessly, it's not entirely aimless, is not something I've seen people do. Nothing. But you know, it's not all that bad, because especially in the summer, if you go at the wrong time, it's not that you're not gonna find what you're looking for, you're not, but you're also not going to find literally anything else. But this forest at least has, you know, stuff in it, even if it's not the stuff that we're looking for. I think these might actually be edible. I could ask. Oh, got picked up. I didn't mean to pick it up actually. You know, I could. I think I'm just gonna take a photo of it and then send it and ask what it is to the group. Even if it comes back, you know, as yeah, it's tasty, I'm not going to eat it. I just wanna get, you know, a bit more familiar with it. So I guess I'm gonna end the video. No, I'm just gonna put here and take a photo later I thought about, you know, taking a picture and then ending the video, then taking a picture, then resuming recording, but that sounds like I'd have to do 2 minutes of editing, and I do not want that. Editing is for people with skills that I do not have. And we're back to the place where we found that first sun mushroom, and there is actually a tiny little another one. You know, last time I was here they were a lot bigger. You know, some of these can get really huge, and these just, I guess, don't have enough water, because it's not like that one would have grown a lot more than it already has, you know, because you can tell at what stage in its development it is, and it's already relatively mature, so it wouldn't have grown all that much if we had let it grow. Now you can find that last week, or maybe it was actually 2 weeks ago, you could find mushrooms that were much bigger and in an earlier stage of development, you know. There was still like a ball that they hadn't opened at all. I think I might see one from here, or is it just a trick of the light? It is not a trick of the light, it is a mushroom. Again, not a very big one. It's been nipped here so we can see it's not red. Guess we'll go a bit over here. Then there's a spot where, when it rains, water goes, like a little temporary creek. We're gonna go down there. I think it's... well, there's 2 spots actually. But one of them had... when I was going to the one that's further away from us, I found more sun mushrooms on the way back to my car than the other one that's closer. So we're gonna try and find that one that's a bit further away. Here is one of them. I'm not sure which one it is. Well, you're gonna see like a ditch that water pours down through at some point during this descent. Chances of seeing me fall here are much greater than the rest of the video, because it is actually, yeah, you can see actually the creek does go, I don't know, quote unquote creek does go here. See how wet it is. It's actually just clay. So I'm gonna go a bit, you know, to the left of the road, I suppose, because it's not as moist here. so the chances of me slipping, falling are a bit less pronounced. You guys probably can hear it, but the creek that's like at the bottom of the hill all the way down can be heard from here. You know, it's good when you have a creek. It's always good because you can follow the water if you get lost. Not that you can really get lost here. It's just the way that the hill is, you know, when you go down you're gonna reach the road. And we have found something. I'm pretty sure you can't see it from here, but I can. And these are the black trumpets that I was looking for. And you know, let's examine them a bit, not just pick them up and throw them in. You know, as you can see, they have this like the tube shape. They're black, you know, a bit brown, and they're gray down, you know, down the stalk. There's no lines or anything, and you know, when this can all depend a bit. They're darker at the top when it's moist, and they're also black at the sides when it's more moist. This means, you know, it's a bit dry for them, but you know, not all that much. And yeah, there's a bunch of them. I'm gonna tell you a few things about them now because they are a bit particular. One is that they grow, as you can see, from the ground, and they're very small, so you're gonna have to clean them, and then this is a bit of more labor intensive process than for any of the other mushrooms that I've collected. So you're gonna have to snip off the bottom. I'm not gonna do that now, I'm gonna do that when I'm preparing them. And you're gonna tear them in half, because this tube shape can have stuff in them, you know, dirt and whatever, even spiders can go inside and hide, and you don't want that. And then at the end you're gonna pour some water in a bowl when you know, cut all the bottoms and tore them in half. You're gonna put some water in a bowl, put all of the prepared trumpets inside, splush them around to clean them, and you're gonna repeat this process a few times, and in the end you're gonna have a clean mushroom. Yeah, so now we're gonna pick them. Trying to not pick too much trash. I'm really happy that I found them. You know, I think I've told you more about them than anything else. You know, I'm gonna just throw this away. I don't need a consolation prize like this anymore. So yeah, you know, when they're in season, they can be, you know, everywhere. So next time you're in the forest, you might just pick out something black glowing from the ground. Then you're gonna realize that the forest floor is covered with them. So yeah, really great mushroom. I might try these, we'll see. You know, you should be a bit careful when you're drying them. If you're drying them, you know, with like an oven or even, I guess, a dryer, because they're very thin. So you should be careful not to actually cook them, which is what happened the first time that I picked them, and that was actually the first time that I went the club, you know, from my city. And you know, I had like maybe a kilo of them, maybe not, you know, they're pretty small and light, so who knows how much it actually was. But yeah, basically my mom kinda ruined them all, but that's fine, you know, because they're so easy to pick that even since I just saw them that one time, which is, you know, about this time of year, maybe a week and a year ago. Yeah, that one time was all that, you know, was needed for me to identify them later on, because they're just so distinct. There is one mushroom that you could theoretically mix them up for, and that one is edible, and it has like similar to this, but it has like the little leafy lines on the side. So you could mix them up for that, theoretically. You know, sometimes people start picking and they don't realize that they're picking the wrong one. But sometimes they figure it out and they don't care because they're both nice. And here's some more. Nice big ones. You know, it's really, really great that I found them here, because it's another spot that I should be checking, that I did not know about before. You know, the best way to pick mushrooms is to know where they all are and how many there are before you even start driving to the forest, because you've got experience and you remember exactly where you found them before, and then you check all those spots and you pick them. And the man that showed me this forest, he told me that he put it very nicely. He said he does not go into the forest to look for mushrooms, he goes to pick them. Because he knows, you know, many forests and exactly the exact micro locations of every mushroom in that forest. So he doesn't have to go around looking for mushrooms, because he knows where they are. And we're just reaching the road. No, our catch wasn't all that great, but I'm pretty happy, because during the summer there were times when I came back with like nothing, literally nothing. It wasn't, no, I knew that there wasn't going to be much just because it was so cold, but you know, the year is ending, it's only going to get colder, so I might as well. There is a mushroom here at the side of the road. I wonder what it is. Oh, there's another puff mushroom. It shoots out the spores. you know, I've actually found some pretty decent mushrooms sometimes on the side of the road. So anyway, I'm here, my car is just up ahead, and let's not bother you anymore with mushrooms. Goodbye.